Hey guys, so with this being my new channel, I thought there's a high chance that there's going to be people that are going to see this content and me for the first time, and they've never seen it before, and they're not caught up, they're not up to speed. So I thought one of the things that I'll do is, while the channel's growing, I'll refresh people's memories for those that have seen it, and for those that haven't, I'll give you a little bit of context to what you see going on. Maybe in the peripherals, you know, while you're going to work and stuff, and you're hearing this furor in the media about Restore UK and Reform Britain, Rupert Law, Nigel Farage, Mohammed Yusuf, you know, all of this stuff, and you're probably a little bit confused if you're not up to speed. So I'll do that now. You're welcome. So Rupert Law was part of Reform UK, and he was a rising star. He was doing very, very well. And not only that, he was a man of action. When he said he would do something, inevitably he would actually do it. And he was actually being very proactive in getting sponsorship for Reform UK when he was told of the decision by Nigel Farage without any consideration, without any discussion, that he was no longer part of the party, that he'd been kicked out. Now, that was a shock to not just me and a lot of other people within Reform UK that were giving them our belief, almost, kind of. And we were like, okay, well, we're going to give you guys a chance. And then we just saw it all kind of fragment and fall apart from within. And we didn't really know what was going on. And we couldn't really trust anyone either, because Nigel Farage came out and said it's because he had attacked someone. Then he said that it's because he was abusive. Then they called the police on him, tried to get him arrested. All charges were dropped. There was not a single complaint that was made against Rupert Law. Everything fell on deaf ears. And the whole thing left a bad taste in the mouth. And for a while, Nigel Farage was going around saying that Rupert Law was just a horrible, evil man. He bullied everyone. He wanted to steal the job from Nigel Farage, that he threatened him behind closed doors, all kinds of stuff. And then one day he came out and said what he actually got rid of him for. And we'll talk about that at the end of the speech, because it's really telling. And I mean that. You judge a man by what he does, not by what he says, right? Let's listen to the speech first. And I just want you to tell me if you can see or hear anything that you would think made this man deplorable. A basket of deplorable. Sounded better in my head.
What a pleasure it is to be here this evening with so many like-minded patriots in northwest Essex on the 5th anniversary of Brexit. I can assure you my recent contributions in Westminster have been in front of far less welcoming crowds. I hope to finally finish a speech without being warned over my tone by a belly-aching socialist. Let's see. Essex is a good place, filled with good people. The Essex man. A fine blend of Roman settlers and the Catavalorni. A personification of common sense and British logic. He believes in strong borders, low tax and rewarding hard work. He's passionate about his country. He intensely dislikes wokery and all the associated tripe. I say the country would be in a much better place with more Essex men in charge. But friends, be in no doubt that our country is in the most precarious position I can remember. And what is the root cause? Uncontrolled mass immigration. Immigration, immigration, immigration. Legal and illegal. If raising legitimate concerns about thousands and thousands of unchecked foreign males illegally entering our country makes me far right, then so be it. If objecting to these men, often from alien cultures that hold no respect for women, being housed in luxury accommodation at taxpayers' expense makes me a racist, then so be it. If believing that immigration should be strictly controlled and designed to solely benefit the British people makes me a bigot, then so be it. I do not care, and nor should you. For too long, our language has been policed and censored. Decent men and women have been forced into silence. I say no more. What has that sinister attitude led to? The mass rape of young working-class white girls by mainly Pakistani men on an industrial scale. That is a rotting stain on our country's history. That is a rotting stain on our country's history. I do not say this lightly, but it makes me ashamed to be British. We failed those girls, and heads must roll. Heads must roll. I want deportations, not just for the rapists, but also the family members who are aware of their heinous crimes. If that results in tens of thousands of deportations, then that is what must happen. I want prosecutions for anyone in any position of authority, who knew about these savages and did nothing, or even worse, concealed their crimes. Not just their dismissal, criminal prosecutions must follow. I want justice for anybody involved in these rape gangs. Should feel the full force of the law. Race and religion must protect no one. Race and religion must protect no one. No one. As a country, how did we let this happen to those poor young girls? Most horrifyingly, it's still happening today. Right now as I speak to you tonight. Never forget that. Many of these monsters have even been released back into the same communities where the children they raped reside. Words appropriate on this stage cannot adequately describe what I think of these beasts. I don't want thoughts and prayers from government. I want action. Deportations of foreign nationals who have come to our country and committed serious crimes against the British people. Deportations of those arriving in our country illegally. Send a message: if you come here without permission, you will not stay under any circumstance. Two words: detain, deport. Deportations of those living in our country illegally. Recent estimates stated that up to 1 in 12 individuals living in our capital city are illegal migrants. I pushed the Home Office for a full review into the impact of illegal migrant crime on British women and girls. They refused. Typical. I ask, as I often do, who is this Home Office supposed to be serving? Between the 5th of July last year to the 4th of January this year, there were just 4,390 enforced returns of people with no legal right to remain. It's pathetic. In a recent debate with an immigration lawyer, another profession pork-barreling a living, I was told that a deportation scheme on the scale required would be impossible, as it would take a flight leaving every hour. That sounds like a very good starting point to me. The message has to be clear. If you're in our country illegally, expect deportation. Implement that on the scale required, and the boats will stop overnight. I can promise you that. Just look at what we've done to ourselves. There is only one chance to save this country, and that is by electing a reform government in 2029 or before. We have been shown the way by one Donald John Trump. Certain moments go down in history as a fork in the road. and Elon Musk purchasing Twitter is one such event. Without that, there is no free speech. There is no Trump victory. There is no savior of the West. And for that, I am grateful. Now we can look to America as a source of hope and inspiration. I'm sure, like me, you've watched on with envy as Trump tears up the established order in the most spectacular fashion. Let's go through several of my favorites. Starting with the best, you'll love this one. He shut down all DEI programs within the federal government with immediate effect. Glorious music to my ears. We should call DEI what it is: anti-white racism. We must eradicate the poisonous diversity industry, scrap every DEI-related job, and judge people on merit and merit alone. I couldn't care if a workforce is diverse or inclusive. I only care if it's competent. That is all that matters. Up next, Trump declared there are only two genders. Male and female. Cancelling all programs that promote the dangerous and gender ideology. We must follow. I say keep that venom out of schools and away from impressionable young children. Leave our children alone. What about on government efficiency? Establish the Department of Government Efficiency, otherwise known as DOGE. Slashing waste, freezing new hires, banning work from home for public sector employees, and fighting government censorship. Common sense policies that should be replicated in Britain. And finally, on immigration, I prefer to keep it simple with the two Ds: detain, deport. This is how to properly govern. Watching Trump and the Americans, it has made me even more determined than ever to restore our unique country through a great repeal act when Labour falls at the next election, as surely it will. I don't particularly care if we're liked by the rest of the world. I care if we're respected. I care if we're respected. Because right now, Britain is a joke, and it has been for some time. Take this, for example. £10 million was set aside for local inquiries into the rape gangs by the Labour government. Just £10 million. This year alone, we sent £133 million to Pakistan in foreign aid. My view? Scrap every single penny. Or at the very least, use it as a weapon to force the Pakistani government to accept their deported rapists and criminals. I want the British government to put the British people at the top of the agenda. We should make no apologies for that. Learn from Trump. Let's be unapologetically patriotic. Slash tax across the board. Enforce the border. Deport those with no right to be here. Accept biological reality. Fight back against wokery. Bulldoze nonsensical foreign aid. Eradicate DEI. Deliver sensible infrastructure. Carpet bomb public sector waste. Brutally crack down on crime. And plenty more. I love Britain. I really do. We've got the best people in the world. We need a government that will put us first, protect our interests, and get the hell out of our way. We must all work together to ensure that Britain's relentless decline under numerous inept and pathetic governance comes to an end at the next general election. Then the Great Repeal Act can be followed by overdue national restoration. Let's make Great Britain great again. Thank you.
So how about it, guys? You've just watched it, right? You've just watched the whole thing. Did you see or hear anything in which you were like, wow, that guy needs to be not only thrown out of the party, but arrested and hounded in the media until we destroy his reputation and never let him in British politics ever again? Because I missed it.
But you see, when he stood up and said that we've got to consider the mass deportation of entire communities, including those born in the United Kingdom, that just moves way beyond a point of reasonableness, of decency, of morality. And that was the moment at which, I realised we just had to get rid of him and get rid of him as quickly as we could. And I think in terms of the way we dealt with that, we were probably more brutal than the other parties. But you know what? That's the way it's going to be.
I don't know what Nigel Farage has seen that sounds so dangerous for the people he works for. But I didn't see anything that sounds dangerous for this country and the Britons, the native Britons that live here. I will say this, one last thing. If you think that I'm full of shit, that's fine. If you think that Rupert Law is lying, that's fine. If you think Restore Britain is a fake movement, that's fine. But if you think Nigel Farage is going to save the country and that's why you're voting for him, then just have a listen to everything that he said before. Have a look at his actions, the way that he talks proudly about destroying the right-wing movements in this country, how he vilifies the only man in the country right now that's a sitting MP and wants to actually deport millions of people that don't deserve to be here, and openly talks about it. He's got policies written down on how to do it. Nigel Farage doesn't have any of that. And the reason he got rid of Rupert Law, the reason he kicked him out of the party, is because he wanted to deport people. You can't come back from that. Actions speak way louder than words, and his actions, Nigel Farage's actions, just from my point of view, I'm not trying to colour your opinion, but from my point of view, following him for years and years now and seeing what he says, listening to what he says and then seeing what he does, what he says in public is completely different to how he acts or is perceived to act, or what people have talked about, the way that he acts in private to what you actually see in public life. So in other words, you're not voting for Nigel Farage, you're voting for a caricature, a mask. And I'm fucking sick of masks.
Dino Bay, time to light the soul. Dino Bay, and we could stay both of